On the morning of September 11, 2001, New York City awoke under a flawless blue sky. The sun rose over Manhattan, casting a golden glow across the skyscrapers. It was a normal Tuesday. Commuters hustled to subway stations, street vendors prepared their carts, and the aroma of fresh coffee and bagels filled the air. Among the towering buildings, the World Trade Center's twin towers gleamed, symbols of commerce, ambition, and the city itself. Inside the towers, workers began their morning routines. Some typed at their desks, answered calls, or reviewed documents, while others moved between conference rooms, greeting colleagues and carrying coffee. Elevators ferried thousands to their floors, and stairwells were filled with maintenance staff and cleaning crews beginning their day. To most, it was simply another ordinary Tuesday. Outside, the low hum of planes overhead went unnoticed, an everyday sound for a city beneath busy flight paths. But hidden in this rhythm, 19 men, trained and organized by Al-Qaeda under the leadership of Osama bin Laden, were executing a meticulously planned attack. They had studied security procedures, learned to blend in, attended flight schools, and coordinated their movements to exploit weaknesses in the U.S. aviation system. Their targets were symbols of American power, the Twin Towers, the Pentagon, and a fourth target in Washington, D.C., ultimately never reached due to the courageous actions of passengers on Flight 93. At 8:14 a.m., American Airlines Flight 11 departed Logan International Airport in Boston for Los Angeles. On board, 5 hijackers quietly took control of the cockpit, altering the plane's course toward New York City. Below, commuters hurried through streets, office workers entered elevators, and tourists photographed the skyline. Then, at 8:46 a.m., Flight 11 struck the North Tower between the 93rd and 99th floors. The impact was immediate and catastrophic, sending a massive fireball into the streets and trapping workers on floors above. Alarms blared, smoke filled stairwells, and chaos erupted inside the building. First responders rushed toward the towers despite the danger. Firefighters, police officers, and medical personnel moved through streets clouded with ash and debris, helping trapped individuals and guiding panicked crowds to safety. News crews captured live images of smoke and fire rising from the North Tower, but even as cameras rolled, few could comprehend the scale of the disaster. At 9:03 a.m., United Airlines Flight 175 crashed into the South Tower between the 77th and 85th floors. The attack confirmed the worst fears. This was no accident. Inside the South Tower, workers fled down smoke-filled stairwells, dodging falling debris. Outside, people ran through streets blanketed in ash. Emergency responders intensified their efforts, climbing stairwells to rescue anyone still trapped. Meanwhile, American Airlines Flight 77, traveling from Washington Dulles International Airport to Los Angeles, crashed into the western side of the Pentagon at 9:37 a.m., igniting fires and causing massive structural damage. In Washington, D.C., confusion spread as officials realized the attacks were coordinated and national in scope. United Airlines Flight 93, departing Newark International Airport for San Francisco, was hijacked as part of the same plot. Passengers, learning of the earlier attacks from phone calls, decided to act. Led by Todd Beamer, Mark Bingham, Tom Burnett, and others, they fought the hijackers in the cockpit. At 10:03 a.m., Flight 93 crashed in a field near Shanksville, Pennsylvania, preventing further destruction and likely saving countless lives. In New York, disaster escalated. At 9:59 a.m., the South Tower collapsed, sending an enormous cloud of debris, dust, and ash into the streets below. The ground shook as concrete and steel fell, crushing vehicles and blocking streets. First responders continued their heroic efforts to evacuate survivors. At 10:28 a.m., the North Tower collapsed, leaving a haze over lower Manhattan. Thousands had died, and the city was forever changed. Nearly 3,000 people perished that day, including office workers from over 90 countries, firefighters, police officers, and civilians. Stories of heroism emerged, colleagues helping each other escape, firefighters ascending burning stairwells, and passengers fighting back against hijackers. These acts became a lasting testament to courage and humanity in the face of extreme tragedy. The global reaction was immediate. Countries expressed solidarity, and media coverage brought images of destruction into homes worldwide. President George W. Bush addressed the nation, pledging to bring those responsible to justice. In the U.S., airport security was tightened, intelligence systems improved, and the Department of Homeland Security was established. Military operations began in Afghanistan to dismantle al-Qaeda. Investigations followed. The 9/11 Commission examined intelligence failures, security lapses, and government oversight. They analyzed flight paths, cockpit actions, and structural failures, concluding that the combination of airplane impacts and fires led to the tower's collapse. Despite clear evidence, conspiracy theories emerged. Claims of controlled demolitions or government complicity spread online and in books, but were thoroughly debunked by structural engineering studies, eyewitness accounts, flight recordings, and photographs. The attacks were carried out by al-Qaeda terrorists using commercial airplanes, not explosives or government collusion. September 11 reshaped global security, travel protocols, and emergency response planning. Memorials and museums were constructed to honor the victims, preserving their stories for future generations. Families, colleagues, and citizens worldwide continue to commemorate the day, reflecting on heroism, loss, and resilience. Though it began as an ordinary Tuesday, September 11 became an extraordinary day of tragedy, courage, and global consequence. The Twin Towers, once symbols of commerce and ambition, now also represent resilience and memory. The bravery of first responders, passengers, and ordinary citizens stands as a reminder of human strength in the face of unimaginable adversity. The world continues to learn from and honor the events of that day, ensuring that the lessons and memories endure.